Have you ever sat down in your favorite chair with a cup of tea, looked out the window and wondered, how many good years do I still have left? Not in a worried way but in a curious, hopeful kind of way. That quiet moment when you realize how precious life really is, how every sunrise, every shared laugh, every walk in the fresh air feels like a gift. If you're over 60, chances are you've started to think a little more about longevity. Not just living longer but living well. Staying sharp, feeling strong and waking up each day with a sense of purpose. Now here's the thing, most of us are already doing a lot of the right things. Maybe you take your vitamins, get your steps in, stay social or enjoy a good book. But sometimes the biggest difference isn't in what we add, it's in what we avoid. That's what we're talking about today. In this video we're going to talk heart to heart about 6 common, everyday mistakes that can quietly chip away at your health and vitality, often without you even noticing. These are habits or patterns that sneak into your day and settle in. But the good news? You can stop them, shift them, and even reverse their impact with just a little awareness and a few simple changes. So, if you want to give yourself the best chance of making it to 90 and beyond, with your energy, independence, and joy intact, this conversation is for you. Let's start with something many people don't even consider a mistake, because it's so common. Have you ever had a day where you didn't drink much water? Maybe you were busy, maybe you didn't feel thirsty, or maybe you just forgot. Then by evening you felt a little off, more tired than usual, a bit foggy, maybe even a headache creeping in. That, right there, is one of the sneakiest things that can shorten your lifespan over time: chronic dehydration. You see, as we age, our sense of thirst dulls. We don't get those strong signals like we used to. But our body still needs water, maybe even more than before. Water keeps our joints cushioned, our blood flowing smoothly, our kidneys filtering out toxins, and our brain sharp. When we don't drink enough, everything slows down. Waste builds up, digestion suffers, our heart works harder, and our risk of infections increases, especially urinary tract infections, which can be dangerous in older adults. Now, I'm not saying you need to carry around a giant jug of water all day. But keeping a glass nearby, sipping regularly, even adding a splash of lemon or a few berries of plain water doesn't appeal. That can make a big difference. Even foods like cucumbers, watermelon, and soups can help keep you hydrated without feeling like a chore. It's one of the easiest things to fix, yet so many people overlook it. Now, let's talk about something a little more emotional, something that weighs on the heart, literally and figuratively. Have you noticed how easy it is to slip into isolation without meaning to? Maybe a close friend moved away. Maybe your kids are busy with their own lives. Maybe it just feels easier to stay in than to go out and mingle. And before you know it, a day alone turns into a week, then into a pattern. Loneliness doesn't just make us feel sad, it quietly shortens our lives. Research shows that chronic loneliness can have the same effect on our body as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of heart disease, stroke, depression, and even dementia. But here's the hopeful part. Connection doesn't have to be grand. It doesn't have to be a big event or a perfect dinner party. It can be a simple chat with the neighbor, a phone call with an old friend, joining a local walking group or a book club, even sharing a smile with the cashier at the grocery store. The human heart thrives on connection. It's how we're wired. You are never too old to make new friends or to rekindle old ones. And when you do, your health responds. Blood pressure drops. Stress melts. Sleep improves. Life feels richer. If you've ever noticed how much better you feel after a good conversation, even just 5 or 10 minutes, then you've already felt the medicine of connection. It's real. And it's powerful. Alright, here's one that might surprise you because it sounds so innocent. But it's a trap many of us fall into as we get older. Have you ever found yourself sitting a little longer each day? Maybe in front of the TV, flipping through channels? Or scrolling on your phone, even if you told yourself you'd only check it for a few minutes? It adds up. And before you know it, hours have passed with barely any movement. It's not your fault. Many of our routines are built around sitting. But too much sitting, especially when it becomes a daily pattern, can dramatically affect your longevity. It's been linked to everything from heart disease to diabetes to certain types of cancer. Even worse, it contributes to muscle loss, which makes everyday activities harder over time. But here's the good news. You don't need to hit the gym or start training for a marathon. Just a little movement every hour makes a big difference. Stand up, stretch, walk to the kitchen and back, march in place during commercial breaks. Set a timer if you need to. Your muscles are like batteries. They hold your strength, your stability, your confidence. Use them regularly and they'll support you for years to come. Let them weaken, and even simple things like getting out of bed or walking across the room can become difficult. Even gardening, sweeping the porch, or dancing around the living room to your favorite old song. That counts. It's not about exercise. It's about movement. It's about reminding your body that it's alive and strong and ready to carry you wherever you want to go. And if you're already thinking, well, I've slowed down a bit lately, that's okay. Start slow. Start gentle. But start. Every step matters. Now that we've explored the impact of hydration, loneliness, and prolonged sitting, let's keep going. You know, when it comes to our well-being, it's not just about what we eat or how often we see the doctor. It's also about what we don't do, those small things we overlook or think don't matter, but quietly chip away at our health. So let's keep this conversation going, because the next mistake is one that sneaks up on so many people without them even realizing it. Let's talk about sitting. I know what you're thinking. What's wrong with sitting? I've earned a little rest. And you're absolutely right. Rest is important. But the issue isn't sitting itself. It's how much we're sitting and for how long at a stretch. Our bodies weren't made to sit still for 5 or 6 hours a day in the same position. Yet that's exactly what so many of us do, especially as we get older. Whether it's watching TV, reading, or just relaxing in a favorite chair, the hours add up before we even notice. Now here's where it gets serious. Long periods of inactivity are directly linked to reduced circulation, stiff joints, muscle loss, and even increased risk of heart disease. And the worst part? You can still be technically active. Maybe you take a walk in the morning or do some gardening, but if you spend most of your day sitting afterward, the risks still apply. It's like watering a plant in the morning and leaving it in the dark all day. One good thing doesn't cancel out the bad. But don't worry. This doesn't mean you have to give up your favorite chair or start doing jumping jacks every hour. It just means building little movements into your day. Stand up and stretch during TV commercials. Take a few steps around the house every 30 minutes. Walk to the mailbox, pace during a phone call, do a few gentle squats while brushing your teeth. These tiny actions keep your blood flowing, wake up your muscles, and remind your body that it's still in the game. Even dancing a little while you're cooking dinner can count. Put on your favorite song and sway those hips a bit. Your body will thank you, and honestly, it's fun. Speaking of movement, another everyday mistake that often gets overlooked is the belief that I'm too old to build strength. This one hurts to hear because it's a myth that holds people back from some of the biggest health benefits they could experience, especially after 60. Muscle mass naturally decreases with age, yes. But that doesn't mean we're helpless. In fact, staying strong is one of the most powerful things you can do to protect your independence, balance, and energy. I've seen it too often. Folks give up on any kind of strength training because they picture heavy gym equipment or think they'll get hurt. But strength training doesn't have to look like a gym commercial. It can be as simple as using resistance bands while sitting in a chair, lifting light weights at home, or even using your own body weight for gentle squats, wall push-ups, or step-ups on a staircase. You don't need to become a bodybuilder, you just need to challenge your muscles a little bit so they stay awake and active. And here's the beauty of it. When you keep your muscles strong, you're not just improving your physical health, you're also protecting your freedom. Getting up from a chair becomes easier. Climbing stairs feels less daunting. You reduce your risk of falls, which are one of the biggest threats to quality of life as we age. It's not about looking a certain way. It's about living fully without relying on others more than you want to. You deserve that. Now, let's take a moment to talk about something even more subtle but equally important. Staying connected. I mean really connected. With people who lift you up, who make you laugh, who remind you that you matter. Because the truth is, loneliness isn't just an emotional burden. It's a health risk. One that can quietly shorten your life without you even realizing it's happening. Loneliness has been linked to a higher risk of dementia, heart disease, depression, and even early death. And the hard part is, it's not always about how many people are around you, it's about how seen and heard you feel. You could be surrounded by others and still feel invisible. Or you might live alone but feel full of connection because you talk to your grandkids every week or have a book club that fills your heart. That's why it's so important to stay emotionally nourished. Reach out to old friends even if it's been a while. Join a group at your local community center, even if it's just for a weekly game of cards or a shared meal. Volunteer somewhere that needs a warm smile and a kind heart, because you've got plenty of both. And don't underestimate the power of simply saying hello to a neighbor or chatting with the cashier at the store. These little moments of connection add up in ways that truly matter. If you've ever felt like no one really understands what you're going through at this stage of life, let me remind you, you're not alone. You're part of a generation that has seen and survived more than most people can imagine. You carry wisdom, resilience, and heart. But even the strongest among us need connection. It's part of being human. And allowing yourself to receive support and friendship isn't a weakness, it's a strength. So let's take a breath together right here. Think about the people in your life who bring you joy. Maybe there's someone you've lost touch with. Maybe there's a neighbor you've seen in passing but never really spoken to. Maybe it's time to send that message, make that call, or invite someone over for coffee. Life is richer when we live it with others. And while we're on the subject of connection, there's one more area that often gets forgotten: connecting with yourself. Checking in with how you feel. Slowing down to ask, what do I need today? Not what the world expects of you, not what your calendar says, but what your soul is asking for. Maybe it's rest. Maybe it's movement. Maybe it's simply sitting by the window with a cup of tea, letting the sunlight warm your face. These moments aren't luxuries. They're necessary. Now let's talk about something that might surprise you: neglecting your sleep. It's easy to brush off a restless night or tell yourself, I'm just a light sleeper now that I'm older. But here's the truth. Your body still needs deep, restorative sleep no matter your age. Sleep isn't just about feeling rested. It's when your brain repairs itself, your immune system strengthens, and your heart gets a break from the day's work. But what do a lot of us do? We stay up watching TV until midnight, we nap a little too long during the day, or we don't have a consistent bedtime. Over time this adds up. Poor sleep can lead to memory issues, higher blood pressure, weakened immunity, and even greater risk of falls or confusion. Now I get it, sometimes it's hard to sleep well. There might be aches and pains, or your mind just won't settle. But there are things you can do to gently guide your body back into a rhythm. Try dimming the lights an hour before bed. Keep your bedroom cool and quiet. Avoid caffeine after noon. And build a calming bedtime routine. Maybe a warm bath, a bit of light reading, or listening to soft music. Your body thrives on routine even in rest. And here's something powerful to remember. Quality sleep is not a luxury, it's a lifeline. When you give yourself the gift of sleep, you're investing in sharper thinking, steadier movement, and a more joyful, vibrant you. Alright, we've reached the final mistake, and it's one that hits home for so many people: ignoring stress. Now, stress might look different at this stage of life. Maybe it's not deadlines or raising kids anymore. Maybe it's financial worry, health concerns, or just the weight of uncertainty. But regardless of the source, chronic stress silently wears us down. It raises cortisol levels, taxes your heart, and even weakens your immune system. And over time, it can age your body faster than almost anything else. Here's the thing though, it's not about pretending stress doesn't exist. That's not realistic. It's about giving yourself tools to manage it gently and consistently. One of the most powerful tools? Breath. Take a moment with me right now. Wherever you are, just breathe in slowly through your nose, hold it, and now exhale through your mouth. Again. Inhale, hold, and exhale. Just that little pause can send a message to your brain. I'm safe. I'm okay. I can handle this. Other beautiful tools include walking in nature, journaling, gardening, talking to someone you trust, praying or meditating, or even just sitting quietly with a warm drink. Stress may not disappear overnight, but we can learn to meet it with softness instead of tension. And that changes everything. Because living past 90? It's not just about adding years to your life, it's about adding life to your years. So let's recap the 6 everyday mistakes to avoid if you want to live longer, stronger, and more joyfully. Skipping regular movement. Even gentle daily activity matters. Too much sitting. Break it up with light movement throughout the day. Believing it's too late to build strength. Small efforts make big differences. Letting loneliness take root. Stay connected, stay heard, stay you. Neglecting sleep. Rest well to heal, think clearly and stay energized. Ignoring stress. Find your peace. Protect your inner calm. If you're watching this right now, I want you to know something very simple but deeply true. You are not too old and it is not too late. Your next chapter can be just as meaningful, rich, and joyful as the ones before, maybe even more so. So go ahead, take that walk, call that friend, try that new recipe, learn that new thing, or just sit quietly with your breath and your favorite music. You deserve to feel alive. Every single day. If you found value in this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing for more life-enriching content. And in the comments, let me know, which one of these 6 changes will you focus on this week? I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, take care of your beautiful self, because the world needs you in it, fully present and shining.